Hey, what's up, guys? It's Hayden.
Hey, and I'm Emma. Welcome back to our channel. We are talking about episode 2 of season 3 of The Mandalorian. This one was called The Minds of Mandalore.
Minds of Warrior!
Not The Minds of Warrior.
I just couldn't help but think of that whenever they said Minds of Mandalore. I'm such a fucking nerd.
And I love you for that. No, we went to The Minds of Mandalore. Now, I have to say, we jumped into the mines much sooner than I was expecting.
Oh yeah, we are right in there. This season is wasting no time on its storyline.
Which makes me wonder where they're going to go for the rest of the season, because I really thought that, like, the mines were going to be, I guess, where he'd end up towards the end of the season. But no, straight in, second episode. That's
which I don't mind.
Yeah.
I think there's definitely room to tell a more epic story than him bathing in the living waters and redeeming himself. I like that they kind of got that out of the way in episode 2.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a really good episode. I think, yes, episode 1 was the setup. And then even like in episode 2, it was paying off stuff that was set up in episode 1. Like it's already paying that stuff off. Like Bo-Katan. We've got Bo-Katan back in this episode. So she's going to play a bigger role in this season, I think. And yeah, so I thought it was good that they're right into it. They're not mucking around. You know, it's not like we've got like 3 episodes of filler of him on like random adventures. Which, look, I think it was fine for seasons 1 and 2, but now that we're so invested in these characters, we're so invested in this universe, I think there's just more that we can do in an episode now.
Yeah.
You know, there's more story to be told. So I actually like that they jumped straight into it.
Yeah,
definitely. We're straight to Mandalore, we're straight to the mines.
I was surprised, but pleasantly surprised by it. But before we go any further, this is your spoiler warning. There will obviously be spoilers in this video for this episode. So if you haven't seen it, then don't watch us.
But please come back and watch us.
But moving on, so this was a pretty exciting episode. Let's start from the top, I guess.
Yeah. So we start off at Tatooine. We are introduced back to Peli Motto, who I guess is Mando's go-to mechanic.
Yep.
Personal mechanic. So he goes to see her to find a missing piece for IG-11. Now, I thought he wanted to fix IG-11 to be like a battle droid, which I guess, you know, would be part of that, but he actually wanted a droid to test the air levels on Mandalore.
Yes.
Yes. Because Mandalore is meant to be poisoned and cursed, and so he wanted a droid to be able to test the air levels to see if it was breathable.
But he did also want IG-11 specifically because he could trust.
Yes, and as we know, he's got droid trust issues. And so this is the one droid he trusted. So that's why he wanted IG-11. But no, instead, he gets R5. He gets a downgrade. But look, I think R5 is kind of iconic. You know, he was there in A New Hope as the astromech droid that got pushed aside for R2-D2.
But he's a bit of a wimp droid.
He's not very brave for a droid. But no, we get R5, and R5, I don't know if R5 is going to be like a permanent installment in Mandalorian. I don't know if he's now like Din Djarin's astromech droid. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, could be cool.
I mean, with how his track record's gone so far, not great. Like, I think Mando wants someone a little bit more brave. I don't know.
The work experience hasn't gone down too well.
No.
I don't know if he's going to be getting hired.
No.
The resume's not strong.
Move on.
But another little Easter egg that we got on Tatooine is it was actually Boonta Eve there. And that was mentioned in episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
Yes.
And I think it was like the Boonta Eve pod race. So they have like this pod race to kind of celebrate Boonta Eve. And from what I've heard, it's to celebrate this hut going into godhood or something. I'm not big on the Star Wars lore and stuff like that, but that's what I've heard. But I know that the Boonta Eve pod race is what we saw in episode 1. And so I like that little callback, like that little Easter egg.
Yeah, that was
because I actually didn't mind the Phantom Menace. I'm a bit of a Phantom Menace apologist.
I feel like if you're familiar with our channel, we have touched on that before.
Yeah.
We both actually like that movie.
Underrated.
But that's because, you know, we're 90s kids. Like that.
Yeah.
That was our Star Wars movie.
I love those callbacks. You know, you got like the Naboo Starfighter. Like Din Djarin's like cruising in a Naboo starfighter now. Like, I love those little callbacks, and that was a nice little touch as well. So, you know, they leave Tatooine with R5 in tow, and they go to Mandalore. Mm-hmm. And, you know, Mandalore's looking a bit rough. You know, it's been bombarded by the Empire, so it's a bit of a wasteland now. And the atmosphere is fucked, to be honest. So there's like no communication off-world, so they're pretty much by themselves down there. He sends off R5 to do some tests. R5, as R5 does, just gets into trouble, goes into hiding. Mando's got to rescue him. And we get these creatures, these kind of cavemen kind of creatures. And at first glance, I don't know if I was a big fan of these creatures. I don't know what it was. Whether it was the lighting on them, it was the creature suits, just something looked a little bit off.
I mean,
at first glance.
The lighting wasn't great in, thinking back on it. But I mean...
Or the creature design? I don't know, there was just something that I wasn't too, I don't know.
I didn't mind them, but now that you mention it, I would have actually probably liked to have seen more lighting on them so I could get a better view.
Yeah, so we get more of that, creature suits and effects.
I get what they were going for. You know, we're going into sort of like cave-like territory. You know,
it almost felt like they were not lighting them very well to kind of hide the flaws in the design and the creature suits.
Maybe.
That's just that's almost the impression that I got, and I know that's probably not the case, and I'm sure they put a lot of effort into them. Just a minor thing, but definitely not enough to take away from my enjoyment. The fight scenes are really cool.
Yeah.
Din Djarin tries to wield the Darksaber again, and he's still struggling with it, you know. I don't think his, mind and body are one yet. You know, that whole thing where to wield the Darksaber, you've got to be, tune with yourself.
You've got to be the Darksaber.
So, he's still struggling with that. So they continue on into the mines of Mandalore, and as they do, they get into trouble. Mando gets ambushed by this droid, but it's kind of like this cybernetic organism. It's kind of like, because you see it, it's kind of got like this fleshy eye.
Yeah.
With like these
creepy.
Mechanical bits.
Yeah.
Kind of reminded me of like General Grievous from the prequels.
Yeah, well, it was kind of like a droid monster.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was cool. I kind of expected that he would run into something like this because, I mean, there was a lot of foreshadowing on their arrival that, there's no communication to the outside world.
Yeah, they were setting it up.
It's like, okay, well, there we go. They're obviously going to end up in trouble.
Now, this creature design, I liked. I thought this was a really cool creature design. You kind of got like that mech suit that it drives.
Yeah.
Big kind of spider thing. And then it jumps out of it, and it's kind of like, you can see it's kind of like its fleshy eye, and then like the mechanical droid bits. Just really cool design, I thought there.
Yeah.
So Mando gets captured, and Grogu tries to save him without success. And so Mando's like, go to Bo-Katan. And this is where we get Bo-Katan back. So Grogu is able to get to the moon just off of Mandalore and go to Bo-Katan because Mando taught him how to navigate. Set up, payoff. This is how storytelling works, kids.
You're so condescending. It's the teacher coming out.
That's the teacher coming out, yeah.
I love that the little baby has paid attention to his daddy's teaching.
A+.
And he has learned how to drive the ship all by himself.
Yeah.
That's a big boy.
So again, like just little things like that in episode 1. Paying off now already in episode 2. I love it. So Bo-Katan and Grogu go back to Mandalore. They proceed to save Mando from this creature. Great little fight sequence with Bo-Katan. You can tell that she really knows what she's doing. Like, she's an absolute weapon.
Yeah.
Grabs the Darksaber, knows how to wield it perfectly. Because if you've seen, like, the animated series, you know that she knows what she's doing with the Darksaber.
Well, yes, she had it prior to Din Djarin.
Yep,
so.
she badass.
She knows what she's doing.
Badass bitch. So she's able to rescue Din Djarin. They have a bit of a chat. She makes him some soup. And then he still wants to go into the living waters and cleanse himself. Very kind of, cult vibes.
Yeah.
I'm
almost
cult
like,
vibes
mate,
there.
give up. Clearly, like, go down the path of Bo-Katan. Like,
Yeah,
clearly
right.
you can be a Mandalorian and not, have the inconvenience of having to have a helmet on your head. Like, you can just see in this episode him trying to, like, drink soup. Like, he has to...
Like, he doesn't even take it off to go into the water.
Like,
He still has all of his armour on. He doesn't get down to his swim trunks or anything. He's just...
mate, just come on. You can have your beliefs,
Yeah.
but not be oppressed by them. Which is what many religions need to learn. But we're not going to go into that.
Oh, that's a whole kettle of fish.
That's all good. Let's move on.
So look, he goes in the living waters and he's not having a good day because he takes a step too far and just plunges. Just starts to sink. Bo-Katan dives after him with her jetpack. She's flying after him, grabs him, is able to kind of make her way up to the surface. And then we get a glimpse of something. This big, monstrous thing lurking in the waters. And I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. And I didn't actually know what we were seeing until I looked into it a little bit further. And it's actually a mythosaur.
Right. Sounds
Which
like
is
a
this...
mythical creature.
Well, it kind of is. It's kind of like this mythical creature in the Mandalorian folklore. And that's what, at least, Boba Fett's symbol is.
Oh,
Is the mythosaur. So, very big in like the Mandalorian mythology. I think they were meant to be extinct or something. Or at least very hard to find.
Well, I mean, no wonder if they're hiding.
Yeah, and here's this one just having a bath. He's just minding his own business, having a bath. And next minute, this fucking tin can comes floating down. He's like, what are you doing? So, but that's cool. Like, I like how they just keep on adding into this Mandalorian mythology. They're just giving us more and more and more. And I really love that.
Yeah.
Especially for someone that, hasn't watched the animated series religiously. I've seen a few episodes. If I'm being completely honest, I kind of just skipped into all the episodes with Darth Maul. I kind of just went to all the Darth Maul episodes because, he's my boy.
Is your favourite character.
He's my favourite character, so... but look, we really should go back and watch the whole thing because I know it does kind of tie in a lot of the storyline between the movies and stuff. So don't come for us, all right? We plan on watching the animated series at some point. But yeah, for people that haven't really watched the animated series a lot, it's really cool that we're getting this in a live action setting now, that they're diving into the mythology of the Mandalorian creed.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where it ends. We kind of leave on a bit of a cliffhanger.
Yeah, it was a bit of a cliffhanger.
They make their way to the surface, but that thing's still lurking in the water. And what's going to happen in episode 3? Like, is this thing just going to come bursting through? Are we going to, start with this massive fight scene?
I hope so.
Is Mando going to tame the mythosaur and, ride it into the sunset?
I mean, that would be cool.
Look, Boba got a Rancor. The least I can give Din Djarin is a mythosaur.
That would be so cool. And then him and Grogu just ride it into the
They can rule Mandalore on top of this giant mythosaur.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
I would love to see them actually rebuild Mandalore.
That's what I mean. I feel like they're kind of leaning that way. I don't know. Like trying to build up the Mandalorian race creed again.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's going to be interesting to see where the rest of this season goes.
That's what we were saying before. Like, we thought this was going to be leading up to him going to Mandalore, bathing in the living waters. But no. We got that in episode 2, so it's like, what do they have planned for the rest of the season? What's the rest? I actually like that it's left it kind of wide open, that it kind of subverted our expectations a little bit.
Could go anywhere. But once again, another reason why we love The Mandalorian. It just, keeps us guessing, keeps us on the edge of our seats, and wanting more and more. As soon as this episode ended, I was like, no!
I could binge this easily.
Yes.
Give us The Mandalorian in one chunk, and I'd get it done in a day.
Yeah. But it's probably good that it doesn't come out all at once because we have restraint and, it lasts longer this way.
Yes.
Keeps the anticipation going. Yeah.
Yeah, and do you know another thing that we got in this episode, which I forgot to mention?
What's that?
Grogu started talking.
Oh, yes!
He's starting to form words. I don't know if anyone noticed, because it's a very subtle thing.
It was subtle.
It's not like he's just come out and he's like, sup. It's not that at all.
Could you imagine if it was that deep as well?
Sup.
His voice breaks.
Yeah, what happens when he hits puberty?
Oh yeah, I wonder if we would ever see a teenage Grogu. What that would look like.
I'm Grogu.
I'm Grogu. Like Groot.
Like Groot. I love that. I love teenage Groot. But no, he's starting to form words. It was a very subtle thing. you would have really had to pay attention to pick up on it. But yeah, just kind of like, instead of him just doing like the baby, he's like actually forming like words and syllables, and it doesn't make much sense yet, but...
You're so adorable.
Yeah.
Doing your baby voices. Oh my god.
Yeah, just, I don't know, it was a really nice touch.
Yeah, but at the same time, I also don't know how I feel about him talking yet.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I'm ready for him
How do they handle that transition? It's going to be such like a big thing when that happens, but such a massive shift.
Yeah, I feel like maybe a word here and there, like maybe he learns Mando or like Din or something.
Yeah, I reckon Din might be his first word.
Or Daddy.
Heart. I reckon Din might be his first word. I think I'm putting some money on that.
Oh, I do.
Putting $10 on that.
Be a nice simple word for him.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I don't know. If he starts speaking full sentences soon, I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I feel like he's still too baby-like to be there.
Yeah, they're going to have to treat that very, very carefully, I think. I think if they go a little bit too much with it and he starts just like talking constantly, I don't know, just like ruin... I don't want to say ruin the character, but it could. If they don't handle it right.
Yeah. But I trust Jon Favreau and the team, so I'm sure they know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing. Yeah, they're going to ease us into it. You know, he'll just start, busting out some random syllables here and there, and then, he might do like a din. Like maybe season finale, we get his like first proper word.
Oh, that would be adorable.
Yeah.
His first word.
I reckon that could happen. Anyway, really enjoy this episode. A lot of action, building upon that story once again. I like that I don't quite know where they're going with it. I'm really excited for the next episode. Really excited for this season. I feel like it's going to be a big one.
Yeah, I'm feeling that too. Can't wait.
Yeah, but let's leave it there. But make sure that you jump into the comments, guys. Let us know what you thought of this episode. And make sure you do all of that YouTube stuff as well. Slam that like button if you like what we do. Hit the bell for the notifications to be notified of what we've got coming up next. Subscribe to our channel and become part of the Headspace Films community. Most importantly of all, thank you guys so much for watching. Catch you guys in the next one. Bye.
See you later.